going to show you some burlap stitching. So what I have here is I do have some burlap. I do have different colors, so let me know what color you want. I have yarn, embroidery thread. It looks like this with these labels on it. Here's some other kinds of string. Sure, you could even try some kind of ribbon or any kind of string that you might have around the house. I could even use like the piece that's coming off of this burlap. See that? So yeah, a lot of different ways to go about this. Maybe something from nature. I don't know. Just make sure it's not poison ivy. All right, so what I have here is some burlap. I do have a big-eyed needle, which is really great for beginners. This one's metal, but they do make them in plastic as well. Or you can use any kind of needle that you have at home. You might need some help with making knots. I also have a Sharpie because I want to sketch out what I want to make. And so I have to figure out which direction I want this and maybe what I want. I think I want to make a flower. And a flower might be tricky because there's a lot of curved lines in it. So I'm sketching it out with Sharpie because it's just easier to see. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to have to pick out some colors that I might want. Now keep it simple to start with. So here's my basic design. Then I need to figure out what string I want. So I think I do have some green. So I'm going to use some of this green for the stem and see how that goes. So when you add the string on, and I can't even find the end of my string here. When you add the string on, I'm going to take, I don't know, a foot and a half, about this long. And then this is how you put your string through the needle. So I hold it up so I can see the eye, and I'm going to pinch my thread, and I'm going to hold it right up to the eye and push it through. And I don't tie the knot here. A lot of people like to tie a knot there. Do not do that. Couple different ways you can do this. You can leave a tail hanging and put the knot here at the end of your string. Or for beginners, I like to tie the two strings together. And you might need some parent help for this, or teacher help, or friend help. So I put the two pieces together. I wrap it around my finger until I have an X. It's very loose. Kind of pull it open so I have like this loop. And I'm going to take my tail here, put it around and under and through my loop so you can see it crosses over. And then just pull it tight. You might have to do it a second time to make a thick knot. And this part's tricky because I try to line it up with the first knot. And that takes years of experience. My grandma showed me how to do all that. So there I've got my string and my needle. Now, to actually start sewing, I'm going to do an under-over pattern to start with. So I actually want, now if you want the knot on the front side, you can do that. I typically like to put my knot on the back. So I'm trying to see where my starting point is. And make sure your finger isn't on the other side, because then you're going to get poked. And you will get poked, so don't try to push too hard, because it does hurt, but it'll be okay. And I don't want to pull really tight because this is very loose. This burlap's very loose. I don't want it to go through. I just want it to hold it there. So one simple way to do this is to go under over. So I'm going to go through, go under, or go over actually, and you can see it there. And then I'm going to try to see where in the back it might line up, and actually it's nice because it lines up right here. So maybe I want it there. So this is just a simple stitch going under and over, and you can kind of see that there. So I'm just going to continue this, and I'll show you how, if you want to make it a solid line instead of a broken line, It's gonna be about right there. And then I double check to see that it's there. And then there's the tip of it. So there I have a broken line. Now if you want to make it a solid line, I can go back here and you see where I entered this one. I can go back in that way. And I tug it a little bit. And then I can just go right where I started that one there. And basically I'm just going right on top of that black line. And of course you can experiment however you want to. Sometimes when you make a mistake it ends up being really neat looking. See, and there I've got my line. I've got a couple little gaps, so I just maybe tug on these strings just a little bit, not too tight. Okay, there. Then I'll do the leaf. Now I'm going to make a knot right now. I'll do the leaf a little bit later. The way I make a knot, so this is the back again, is I tie a knot, make a loop, tie it through, and I actually hold this down and just gently keep tugging till it makes a knot right there. And I do a double knot just because this burlap is very loose. So I probably need a double knot. So I'm trying to loop it around that first knot there. And I just trim this off and I can use this string again. And there's my first line.